Right guys, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you all how to squat and common mistakes that I see while squatting and how to adjust them. So Tilly's going to help me here. He's going to demonstrate a squat. So what she's going to do, she's going to step up to the squat bar. So what she's going to do, she's going to use the ring on the bar to make sure she's symmetrical. So she's going to identify where her hand positioning is. She's going to make sure she's even on both sides, which she is there. Now what she's going to do, she's going to put her head in the centre of the bar, and from there she's going to scoop under, so that way she knows she's directly under that bar. So she's opted for a high bar position here, so the bar is on top of her traps there. So what she's doing here, she's going to pull these elbows back and she's tensing all her upper back shelf. So her shoulder blades are there and she's pinching them together as hard as she can, which is creating these tight muscles to be popping for that bar to stand to sit. You can see how she's brought her hips underneath her. So all she has to do to unwrap this bar is brace her stomach and leg press out of the rack, like she's just done there. So what we want to do now, from this position here, we want to minimise the amount of steps back that we have to do. So the way that I like to do that is I've unwrapped like she's just done there, leg pressed it out the rack. I'm going to take my left foot and put it roughly where my squat stance is going to be, like she just has there. Then she's going to bring her right foot out and do the same thing. A quick check, she knows where her stance usually is. What we're aiming for roughly as a guideline is shoulder width apart. So as you see, her heels are stacked below her shoulders. What a common mistake that I see a lot is people going more hip width, so just shows that to lift. That would be, for most people, too narrow. Obviously there's different leverages and people like to lift different, but if we're going just across the board, we would like to start with a shoulder width. So here, now she's nice and strong in this position. What she's going to do now is she's going to brace her stomach. When we're talking about a brace, what I like to imagine is you've got a water balloon in your stomach and you're filling from the top and you're pushing that water and inflating outwards. When you've got a belt on, that'll be filling all that core area. So she's trying to press against, I know she's not got a belt on, but she's pushing against the belt there, and she's going to lower herself but pushing her knees out like she is there. And as this is a high bar squat, she's got that perfect upright position and the knees out. That's going to put loads of emphasis on her quads. So just show me five reps like that till you're at normal speed. There you go.
Loved you till my tears went silent. If this is war, I don't think I can fight it. Had to let you go, let it flow, cry. Can't say we didn't try.
Perfect. Right, just rack it. Right down. Perfect. So, as you can see there, she's got that nice upright position and she's squatting straight down like she's on a Smith machine. That is how to do a perfect high bar squat. A high bar squat is a lot more quad dominant rather than a low bar squat, which is more of a hip hinge. Usually you can lift more weight with a low bar squat than a high bar just because of the leverages. Common mistakes that I find with that is people don't get their upper back tight enough. They'll just be loose, just demonstrate as a loose back to it. So as you can see here, there's no tightness here. That bar could just fall forwards or backwards. So if she's coming out the bottom of a squat, so just go to the bottom of the squat, and she's not tight there, that bar's going to push forward, just come up. So that's going to end up pushing forward and causing all sorts of issues. So we want to make sure this grip is in as close as possible. You see how these muscles now are locked in. You've got a nice shelf for that bar there. Another common mistake that I find is people not bracing the core properly. So what you'll see will happen there is go down to the bottom of the squat tiller. She's going to come up and then she's going to end up in a good morning position. Like that, yeah. And because the bar is high up on your back, if you get in that position, you're most likely not going to squat the weight. So we need to make sure we've got this stability nice and tight with the back, brace nice and tight in the stomach. So that is the high bar squat.
All I see in their eyes. 6 million ways to die, so I spit into this truth when I pray for lies. Everybody wanna talk, but all I hear.
Common mistakes I see with both types of squats is people not going low enough, so stopping here and scared to get to that bottom bit. You need to hit the full range of motion on squats to get the work out of them. You wouldn't just do bicep curls to there. You need to get the full range of motion of the muscle. You should get the quads in the full stretch position and get the glutes involved. So we need to be in full depth. Obviously, if you're competing in powerlifting, you need to have that hip crease below the top of the knee. The next thing that I see a lot is having poor ankle mobility. So when you get down to the bottom of the squat and your heels are coming up like that, that's just going to throw you off everywhere. So what I would suggest if you've got poor ankle mobility is to obviously stretch your calves out and build that mobility, or put on some weightlifting shoes with a heel, which eradicate that problem. The next thing I want to talk about is how different people have different leverages, so they are more suited to squatting in different styles. So myself, I'm quite a long torso lifter with short limbs, so my legs are short, so the further out my torso is, the further away the weight is from my strength. So I want to keep a nice upright position in that low bar position. So I'm in the low bar there, but when I'm squatting, I want to keep as upright as possible. So as you can see, I've got like a hybrid position there, and that's to optimize my leverages. And also, if you're squatting in knee wraps, the more forward knee travel you have, the more pop you're going to get out of your knee wraps. So this is just a blanket demonstration of both lifts, but obviously with your coach you create a hybrid lift best suited to your leverages and the equipment that you are using. So if you are a long legged lifter like Tilly is with a short torso, you're going to need more of a forward lean, and you're going to need to squat more like this as opposed to this. And that's just everyone's individual body mechanics. So that is common mistakes I see with both types of squats.